morning. Good morning, Champion School of Real Estate all over the state of Texas. I'm Rita Santamaria. I'm the owner, the founder of Champion School of Real Estate. And as you know, we have these wonderful once a month superstar interviews from our amazing champions representing the state of Texas. And before we get started, I want to say hello to Plano campus. You were instrumental in our Make-A-Wish campaign. And hello to our president, Kimberly Didelowitz, who's at our Plano campus. Hello, Fort Worth and Austin and San Antonio and our 3 campuses in Houston. We are here at our Champions Live studios at the Galleria campus in the center part of Houston in the Galleria area. And every single time we have this wonderful opportunity to highlight our superstars, I just love it, because when I leave here and I go back to the classroom and say hello to our students, they always say how much they learned and how much they loved being able to take notes on what our amazing guest speakers today have to say. So please be sure to get out your iPad, get out your pen, your paper, to take great notes, because you're going to learn some really wonderful pieces of information and tools that will help make you successful and then make you continually successful. Because the Jockers, Ryan and Royale, have been in the business, what, just on 2 years?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then Jeff Everett from San Antonio, who is with Berkshire Hathaway. He's been in the business for
4 years now.
4 years. And the Jockers are with the Greene Better Homes and Gardens office in Northwest Houston. My stomping ground for where our headquarters is and where my office is located. And I certainly know your office manager well, Sharon Tusink. Happy you're here.
Yes, thank you.
And today we're going to just give questions out and information out that we know if you're a brand new person in the industry, you're going to love these gems. If you're experienced in the industry, you're going to love being remotivated. And I absolutely know finding good pieces of information that will help bring your business to the next level. So I invited Jeff because, yes, he's one of our champion students from San Antonio, but Jeff was also in the top 2% in the nation for Berkshire Hathaway. And he also got the 2017 Chairman's Circle Gold Award. So that means you are really, really rocking and rolling.
Yes, I'm tired.
You're tired. Someone's in the office today while doing your work or helping you while
Well,
you're here in
Hector's
Houston.
out there, and of course everybody in our office is working too.
Of
So,
course they are.
just want to give a shout out to everybody in the office.
Good. And we were happy to see that they've tuned in today. We saw them
Yes.
coming. Could be here. They are the Greene Better Homes and Gardens 2017 Rookies of the Year. And we're just so happy to see husband and wife combination. We'll talk about how that works, as well as how you got started in real estate. So let's just jump right in and let me ask that question. What made you decide, Ryan, Royale, Jeff, was there a defining moment that you decided, I don't want to do what I did previously? And feel free to let us know what that was if you want, because as I say to all of our students, there aren't many people that just were born, raised, and said, I want to be a real estate broker.
That's true.
Usually it's a policeman, a fireman, or a doctor.
Yeah.
But we tend to move into real estate later in our lives when we see that we can be our own boss and be an entrepreneur. So let's start with the two of you. What was that defining moment, or what happened that you decided, let's try real estate?
Well, I was a commercial diver in the oil field for 9 years, and my wife got tired of me being gone all the time, and I was gone at probably about 180 days a year. And so I was thinking about starting my own business. I didn't know what business it was going to be. I didn't know if we were going to own a print company or a Smoothie King, a franchise or something like that. But God put it in our heart to get into real estate. So I went to your Champions office.
Thank you.
Or Champion School of Real Estate right there in the Champions area. And got my license. It only took about a month. And then started doing a ton of open houses. And so 5 houses, I think, in my 3rd month, just from prospecting from open houses. And I came home and said, okay, babe, quit your job.
Not quite. But yeah. I saw his lockbox. And so like you were saying, most people don't say, okay, I'm going to just grow up and be a real estate agent. So I worked for my dad growing up, and he was the #1 agent in Seattle. Okay. So me and Ryan, we've known each other since the 5th grade. We used to put door hangers on people's door. My dad would pay me and my friends. He'd give us $50 and he'd throw us a pizza party after we finished hanging all his door hangers for his marketing. And so I grew up doing it. I worked for my dad every single summer. I mean, we made like listing packets. I serviced his listings, filled up the flyer boxes.
You grew up in it.
Yeah. So I went to college and I thought, I'm going to do anything but real estate, right? You know, because I've been doing it. And, you know, we had to be camera ready because it would be like in the mailer, being sent to the community, or on the billboard saying Merry Christmas, you know, from our family to yours. And I was like, I want to do something else. You know, I'm not going to.
And I bet now you really draw from that experience.
Yes.
Because you saw what worked. Is your dad still in real estate?
Yes. Yeah.
Good.
He's still in real estate in Seattle. And he was kind of our coach starting out and our mentor. And I saw Ryan right after he finished school. He got his lockbox and all his equipment.
Super key.
His Supra, yeah. His super key. And I was like, wait a second. I want one. Because that's all I saw growing up. Yeah.
Well, that is a great beginning, great story. And yet it takes so much courage to jump from being employed, having a regular paycheck, to saying, okay, babe, let's go. Quit your job. We're in this. And I want to say as well, congratulations that you sold 5 houses.
3rd month, yeah.
Within the 3rd month. That's amazing.
Yeah.
And I want to tell everyone that's new in the classroom, that's huge. It's amazing. Maybe don't expect that, but can it happen? It sure can. Absolutely. Should it be in your goals? Absolutely. What about you, Jeff?
So I worked for my family's business for a while. Yeah, from college. We were in the flower business.
Okay.
And my dad just decided to retire. And I was like, I got to do something different. And when I was about 26 years old, I got my first house. And I fell in love with the process. You know, I loved my realtor. And I was like, well, maybe this is something that I can do. And I said to myself, I never want to work for someone else again. I want to work for myself, control my own destiny.
Perfect.
And that's why I got into real estate.
Well, most definitely being in a family business, meeting and greeting customers, that probably started your center of influence.
It was. And that's the #1 thing that I can recommend to all new agents, is to work on your sphere of influence, your relationship network, on the people that you know. Because that's going to be the best referral, and that's going to be the best type of client, is a client that you already know. This business is about relationships. You know, that's what this whole business is about.
It is. Earlier, when Jeff got here this morning, he and I were talking, and we started talking about SOIs. And tell them what your list of centers of influence, how many SOIs do you have?
Well, when I first started real estate, there was about only 50 people. And now it's grown to about 4,000 people. I mean, it just keeps on growing and growing.
4,000 people. So, and again, don't think you're going to start with 4,000 people.
You may start with just 50.
Yeah.
Starting with 50 is huge.
And you just have to make yourself
What is the
available.
What is the list comprised of?
From a lot of different people. What I did is I was working with my manager when I first started, and we kind of played a game. You know, how many can I increase this year or this month, each month? 100, 200, 500, and then just started growing. Always had business cards in my pocket. I had about 5 to 10, and every day I had to give them away to people. Actually talk to people, not just leave it on a restaurant bulletin board,
Yeah.
Smart.
but talk to people and get their information.
And they get to know you.
Exactly. A funny story was in the grocery store, and I was kind of shy and just wanted to practice with people. The best place to start is in a grocery store to practice talking to people, especially when they're trying to check you out at the checkout lane, because they have to be nice to you. They
Oh,
work
yeah,
there,
yeah, yeah.
number one.
Yeah.
And they're not going to leave.
Yeah,
They have to
yeah,
do that.
yeah,
Right.
So you practice your elevator pitch.
They're
a
not
little
going to
bit.
leave.
The third time I did it, he said, I need to sell my condo.
Perfect.
Third time.
Yeah, so wasn't expecting that. Just thought it was
That's funny.
practice.
Okay, so Jeff threw out a couple of things. He said it's a good time to practice your elevator pitch. So in the business, we all know what that is. But for our new people, because we have both watching today, we have about 600 to 800 people that are in tune to what we're talking about. And some are brand new. What is the elevator pitch?
It's about a minute to 2 minutes about who I am, what I do, and that I'm a human being, that I'm interested in what they are doing, and I'm interested in what their needs are.
So you have this prepared. It doesn't sound like that it's canned, but you have a little prepared talk. So when you are in line at the grocery store, and we know we're always in the wrong line, it's always the slow
Yeah.
line.
Right?
So Jeff kind of took that and said, I've got my name badge on,
Yep.
and now I'm going to talk about real estate. Third time there, he lists or sells a condo. So
Exactly.
pretty cool.
Exactly.
It's those subtle things that add up, you know?
It
Mhm.
And
is.
it's going the extra mile.
What about tell us about it. Tell us about your center of influence and how you built that.
Well, we're blessed. We have 3 kids, and we both had really good careers in the oil and gas industry. So, of course, we drew from the people we knew from the oil and gas.
Right.
And then we also Ryan coaches their basketball teams, their football
Aw.
teams. So every time a new season happens, that's like 300 more people to the
There you go.
database.
Very
And then we've got the car wrapped. So like the back windows subtly wrapped.
good. Okay.
And then we have listings in the neighborhood.
Sure.
And then, our church.
Church is a big influence.
And
too.
then our farm, of course.
Mhm.
And then we'll partner with some people in the community, like the country club.
Sphere.
We partner with them on events, and we help market it for them. We have like an exclusive agreement with them.
You're giving back. You're showing them that you are invested in what they're doing.
Yeah. So we try to, with everyone we come in contact, my first question always is, what can I give to them? What can I do for them? What can I give them that they'll want to keep? Like, an Astro
And
schedule.
you're really talking time.
Yeah.
You're saying you spend a lot of time, you're investing time because, again, when you start out in real estate, you don't have a lot of money. And yet you do have time, but it's really knowing, what do I do with my time?
Exactly.
So let's kind of move into that, which you already are, and tell us, starting out, when you started out in the business, what key activities did you do as a new person? And again, this is so awesome for you all that you get to hear these wonderful trade secrets, so to speak, as Jeff said, the secret sauce.
The secret sauce.
Yeah.
Yes.
So what are some what are some specific activities that you did to get started in the business?
Well, mine was neighborhood marketing, getting out there and farming the neighborhood. And I think a lot of it was pride, to be honest with you, at the beginning. Because I was in my neighborhood and I would see all these listings and my name wasn't on the sign.
Yeah.
Why wasn't it? Because I was a secret agent. And that's only good if you're a spy.
That's right.
But if you're in real estate, you have to get out there. So it's out of my comfort zone to door knock. I'm not selling Girl Scout cookies or being a Boy Scout or anything like that. So you have to get out of your comfort zone. And that's the number one thing I have to add is when you get that little feeling in the pit of your stomach, start embracing it, because that means you're doing something right.
Yep.
So I would knock on the
That's a good
doors.
point.
Yep. I would knock on the doors, and the first 3 didn't answer the door. And I was just getting nervous and nervous and nervous. And then the next door, a little old lady answered the door. And she was so sweet to me. And she's like, what are you trying to sell? And I was like, well, I'm not trying to sell anything. I'm actually your neighbor. I live 2 streets down. I'm also a realtor. And then I had this packet of information. I said, here's some information about what's going on in the neighborhood. Who do you know that needs to buy or sell real estate? She laughed at me and she goes, I'm going to die in this house. You know, and I was like, don't die, please don't die. And since then, she's given me 2 referrals.
Outstanding.
You know, and we actually, more importantly, we became friends. You know, I check in on her. I'll bring her, you know, lunch, and it's like a grandmother, grandson type of relationship now. And it clicked. And then the rest of the homes, that 500 home neighborhood, was easy.
Wow. In that 500 home neighborhood. Well, I know Ryan and Royale, you have your farm. How did you decide on your farm, and what do you do to stay involved in your farm?
Well, our farm is our neighborhood. I think it's important. Some people, you don't want to farm your neighborhood. I would farm a neighborhood that you want to get into, or a neighborhood that you want to move into, because it's much easier farming your own neighborhood. It's easy to service your own listings. People see you in the neighborhood. You door knock. I door knocked as well. I had Houston Texan football schedules, and we partnered with the local restaurant, Eden's Cafe, and got a free meal from them. Buy one, get one free. So when they would answer the door, I was bearing gifts, so I could give them those. And then same kind of thing. You're not selling anything, and that's important. Right. I'm here. My name's Ryan Jockers. I'm the neighborhood realtor. Just want to introduce myself, and you're just creating that friendship where they can put a face with the postcards or all the stuff they're getting in the mail. Now they know you personally. They feel like they know you because you've reached out and knocked on their door. And I also had my kids, just like we did for her dad. I had my kids with me on one side of the street on their scooters, and I was on the other, because we picked a neighborhood that had about 2,000 homes. So it took us, I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks to get it all done, but it was a priority. Yeah.
And you're such a low-key, kickback kind of guy, both of you. And if you're out visiting with people, it's not threatening. It's, I'm one of your neighbors, let me visit with you, and here's what I want to do for you and to help you. And I love what Jeff said, that sick feeling in your tummy means you're doing something right.
Embrace it.
Because you're out of your comfort zone. When I saw the information that you sent over, it sort of seemed as though from the get-go, and tell us about this, but it seemed from the get-go that you divided up your particular task as a team in real estate. How did you decide to do that? And then we'll talk a little about teams.
I kind of hit the task running. There was a couple, like there was a few things in the middle before that we didn't decide who's going to take this. And I thought, we'll let the deals decide. We'll let the production decide, and we'll slowly kind of see who's better. But overall, Ryan is the one that's out there because I'm on a more tight schedule, and I have to have things planned out. So Ryan is the one that's out there talking to people. He's not on a time constraint. He does our open houses. He does our listing appointments. If we find it valuable that they would like both of us to come, then I'll go on the listing appointments with him. And then I do all of the marketing, all of the transaction coordinating, all of the escrow. I do all the flyers, all the partnerships, all the billing, cash all the checks.
It's the fun part.
And Ryan is free to be present with each and every person that he interacts with.
The organizer.
Yeah.
You're the organizer. Keep everything going. And he's out there interacting with the general public and bringing the business in.
And some clients, I say, Ryan, they must think you're Superman because you just sent them this 50-page report and now you're here. Right? And they're probably like, how does this guy do it?
That's wonderful.
Yeah. It is. It's easy. If I'm working with a buyer client and they like a house and they're interested in making an offer, I can have an email to them in 5 minutes. I just call way out and say, this is the address they like. Do a CMA, and we'll see what the offer is going to be after the CMA. But they get it right away. And it does.
Did it just fall into place that way, or did you literally sit down and say, let's have a meeting on what each other's roles will be?
Well, some of the things, we're married and we've known each other since 5th grade.
Oh,
So I know
right.
he's not the best at computers.
Yeah.
So there's some things that I'm like, just go. You know what I mean? And I am like, I never stop preparing. I have Excel sheets for everything. I'm such a perfectionist. So when, like, for me to just jump right when we got a listing call, I get flustered because I want everything to be perfect. So if I can prepare everything perfectly
Then you know
and
it's
give it to
perfect.
him, you know what I mean? Then he can just.
And he looks like an all-star because everything is just exactly.
Yeah. And then our
order.
clients get to know me after they're under contract because
Okay.
I work their deal all the way through escrow, order their closing gift.
And then she appears and they're like, oh, it comes
Yeah.
together now.
Yeah,
This is why you were so fast and efficient.
exactly.
Now you also have a team.
Yes, I have one
How
other
does
person
that
with
work?
me. Well, the client meets both of us, either buyer or seller. They meet both of us at first. And when it comes to buyers, he takes the lead. He does all the showings and all that. When it comes to listings, we both go listing presentation, and I take the lead, and I take everything to contract to close.
Good. So how did you work out your particular? You just are really doing the same thing, each of you, and yet you work together.
Exactly.
Because double doesn't mean double; it means 4 times the power.
Exactly. You're
So-
right. We can be at 2 places at once, and that makes it, that just 4 times the power. Exactly.
I've heard this in real estate. 1 + 1 doesn't equal 2; it equals 11. That's what I've heard in real estate.
It does.
And it
It's
really
true.
helps.
And that's why so many smart agents come to Champion School of Real Estate. They look around, they feed our students lunch or breakfast to get in front of them during their break because they know all of these new people are looking for a home. And if you need someone to help you, like a buyer's agent, for example, they know they're not getting paid a salary, but they know they need to start somewhere. So I want you to know we walk into the classroom and we encourage new people to ask the manager when they're interviewing, are there possibly any buyer's agent needs for an experienced agent? Because that's awesome. They get fed leads right away and get to know how the business works.
Yeah.
So how long into the business did you realize, Jeff, you needed another person involved in your business? And the same with the
It was about
Jockers.
6 months into it. And, I also needed someone to hold me accountable too. Someone to push me to do that neighborhood marketing, to get out there, someone to be a positive influence. Not only with Hector, but also with my broker. It's a family atmosphere at my brokerage. And our general manager was great. I mean, he was, excuse the pun, the biggest champion of us.
Yeah.
He helped us build our business too. So I think it's very important to pick the right broker to help you out.
It
It
is.
is.
Yeah, they're part of your team too.
Yep.
So how did you decide to add to your team? Because I know you have a buyer's agent
Yes.
that we visited with today. Did that just happen naturally, or did the two of you put your heads together and say, we need a buyer's agent?
Prayed a lot.
Yeah.
We prayed a lot, and we thought about it last year about this time when things got crazy, because it's crazy right now.
We have like A-type personalities, so there's never a client where we won't go the extra mile. There's some clients are insomniacs, and then other ones are morning bloomers. So we were up like day and night trying to keep all these deals going, and we couldn't turn it off. So we were like, we should get some more help because we're never going to say no. We want to help all these people. We want to take every client, sell every house, make everyone smile, just do everything we can for everyone we can. And
you really
we're wearing
do know
ourselves.
it when it's out of your control.
Yeah.
And you say, need to what?
In real estate, you run out of time. That's what happens when you're farming and your sphere of influence and all the stuff that you've been working on to build your business starts to blossom. You hit a point where it just gets crazy and you run out of time. And so that's when it kind of happened naturally. Like, okay, we need somebody else.
Yeah.
To help with our
And
virus.
then agents are so surprised because when they do come together with another working partner or start formulating a team, they're like, oh my goodness, I'm so much busier now even than before. So we talk about farm, and farm is certainly the particular neighborhood that you choose to specialize in and to be the specialist. Was there any particular reason why each of you chose your farm? Did you live there, or is it a neighborhood you wanted to live in?
Well, there's 3 neighborhoods we farm, and the first one was definitely the one that I live in. Home turf advantage, I guess. It's kind of like you talked about it a little bit. Pride, seeing your signs. You can drive by your listings every night. Check on your vacant listings because you're just right there. One of my slogans is, I know my neighborhood because I live in my neighborhood.
That's right.
I mean,
Everyone knows your
why
neighbor.
hide?
Neighbor.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So it was the neighborhood that I lived in. And then I picked the next neighborhood right next to it. And then right next to that,
Which is a great direction to go.
And then just now I'm trying to do the zip code,
Mm-hmm.
and then it just expands from there.
And it's great to pick where you live, especially if you do marketing. Like I have a little car wrap on my back window, so people see.
Was that tough to make that decision to wrap your car?
It was. That's why I didn't wrap the whole car. I just wrapped the back window. But it's funny. A couple of people from camp school said, I was waving. They always see you. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And they say I was waving at you, and you were just rocking out in your car, and I thought, oh,
That's true.
Yeah.
And I have magnets on my car.
Yeah.
So people will wave at you. At the mailbox, people will wave at you. I don't know who they are, but they feel like they know who I am.
And they see you. And then you get your neighbors saying, I see you everywhere. And when they say that, you're doing your job because they see you in the mail, on the text and schedule, the Astro schedule, or the community event that you've partnered on. And then they see you in someone's yard, in a listing sign. And then they see your car. And then they see that extra mile that you went to get the open house signs that have your picture on them and your arrow. So for that 2 hours every Sunday, you have 8 listings in the neighborhood, but you just acquired 10 more because you put 10 open house signs up for 4 hours. So they see your face, they see your listing signs, they see you in the mail, they see your car, they've met you at an open house, and
you're everywhere.
Exactly.
They want to know you.
Well, what's the statistic that NAR put out that 80% of the people, I think it's even higher, want to use the realtor that they used before, but don't remember their name.
They don't remember.
So
seeing
us everywhere, it helps.
Yes.
I do a Spurs calendar. Sorry about it.
Oh yeah.
Sorry about the other night.
He's in Houston.
Spurs too. We do.
But we do a Spurs calendar, and the 4th of July, I'll put American flags in everybody's yard. And
that's very impressive.
And I had at least 20 to 30 phone calls calling my broker, thanking us for doing that. And it's just, you just become not only the neighborhood marketer, but you become the neighborhood leader. Get involved with the HOA, get involved in the community, do maybe a neighborhood night out events, parties. It's more, people hear farming, they just think door knocking. That's an aspect, an important aspect, but there's a lot more to it than that. It's becoming the neighborhood celebrity.
You are, especially if you're doing all of those things that you should do with marketing yourself, with social media, plus the personal marketing, with the face-to-face marketing. But let's go way back to the beginning. What were a couple of things that you did as a brand new struggling agent that sort of skyrocketed or launched your career?
Open houses. Open houses. They work, and there's going to be a lot of agents that, I can't stand open houses. I don't do them. They don't work. I've had no luck. Let them think that. I'm telling you, open houses work. You want to do it. If you're thinking about a particular farm, I would try to get open houses in that area as much as possible. But continue to do open houses, continue to follow up with those leads. And you really want to work on converting an open house lead, because they're probably not going to buy that house particularly, but in that window of time that you meet them, you're going to want to get their search criteria, make sure you get their email address, phone number, and you want to tell them about the house, but you want to find out more about them on a personal level. And if you get to know them personally and find out they have a 6-year-old and an 8-year-old, they play baseball, and you can find common ground. Wow, so do I. And you can start to create that relationship that is going to convert into a client, and you're going to get them a house. So
Yeah,
I would say open house.
It's all about who you surround yourself with.
I'm going to interrupt just a minute. I'm reading some comments on the side, and evidently it appears as though we're having a little bit of an audio. They're not hearing us as loudly.
Okay.
So we're going to just keep going exactly as we are, but let's maybe raise our voices just a little bit.
Okay.
So,
to add to that, you're as good as the people that you surround yourself with. So we picked an excellent broker. And my dad gave us, he said, go to wherever is number one. It's just like the new buyer's agents. If you join a team, you know what I mean? You're working underneath someone else, but you're learning what it takes to be a top producer. So we picked the best broker in the area, and we picked the best manager, Sharon Tusink, and Brian Schwartz has given us immense support too. And we picked an office full of top producers. And when you surround yourself with winners and with people that work hard, and the Lord has put it on your heart to work hard, and you set your goals high and you don't stop.
you feel like you're part of that winning team.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
And you act that way.
Yes.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right.
They drive you too.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
You know, by working with Berkshire Hathaway, I mean, that was a big step right there. Knowing that, you know, we had someone that has your back. But, you know, neighborhood marketing is important. Like what you said, is open houses are important. I picked up several listings from an open house.
Mhm.
You know, I think a new agent needs to be doing an open house every single weekend
Yes.
when they first start. You know, the ones that say open houses don't work, they did it once
Mhm.
and they just gave up on it.
It didn't
You know,
work the week.
consistency
That's right.
is important in marketing, in real estate, everything that you do. Consistency.
Yes. And it takes time to get listings because you
Right.
have to get out there and be in the mail. But a buyer, you can get a buyer this weekend. So if you do open houses, those buyers are coming in, those consumers are coming in, and you can nurture them, provide them what they need, give them community information until they write a contract. So a buyer is more of your now money, and then listings you acquire over time. Like say they've seen you for 6 months in their mail, they met you at an open house, you know what I mean, a few months ago, and now they're ready to list. Your listings will come, but they take longer. But if you do open houses, you can get more buyers now to keep you in the game.
Absolutely.
It's so interesting that we're talking open houses because 2 weeks ago, I was introducing the host of a panel in Houston. All three on the panel were Champions graduates. It was in the Heights area in Houston. And one of the top producers is from Katy, Texas. She and her team from January through 2 weeks ago had generated $60 million in sales. And what blew me away, and everyone in that audience that was there from Houston Top Producer Magazine, was the emphasis was on open houses, open houses, open houses.
Mhm.
And she said to the whole group, every single one of the people on my team are at an open house every single Saturday, Sunday. And someone in the audience said, well, how do you get someone to say they'll do that? And she said, well, when I'm interviewing and I say, how do you feel about giving up every Saturday and Sunday to do an open house?
Yeah.
And if they say, sorry, can't do, then she says, okay, well, you won't work
Not a
for
good
our
fit. Not a
team.
good fit. Yeah.
But open houses have gotten so very, very popular
Mhm.
because we also have the apps now for buyers that can see where all the open houses are.
Yeah.
That's right.
So buyers are out shopping more and looking, oh, there's an open house over here that I can go to.
That's right. It's all in the apps.
But most
There's a
definitely,
great question on the board right there. How do you prepare beforehand for an open house to be more effective?
Mhm.
There's
It's a
one
great
thing.
question.
There's one thing that we do. I have Hector sit at the open house, and I just can't sit there. I'm the type of person I just can't sit in an open house.
Yeah.
So what I will do is I'll take 100 flyers announcing the open house, and go around the neighborhood that open
In and
house
out.
is in.
Oh, good for you.
Now, they may not be looking for a house, but if they're looking to sell their house and they see that an agent's willing to do this, who are they going to call?
That's right.
You know, so just that's one good way to
Mhm.
prepare for an open house. Also, signage is very important. If you think you need 5 signs, get 10 signs.
That's right.
You know, more is best.
Mhm. And you want the people, the consumers, to think that you are a neighborhood specialist. So one special
Mhm.
touch that we've done is we also, when they come to that house, we have a flyer on that house, but we also have a huge flyer next to it with pictures of 6 other houses and the prices in the neighborhood that say other listings in the neighborhood that are other listings. So we can tell our clients, we're marketing your house, but we're also marketing your house at our other 8 listings as well.
Mhm.
And then they say, okay, well, if I don't want this house, but if I want a house in the neighborhood, I guess I better talk to Ryan too, because
Now, do you tell your sellers about that beforehand?
yes.
Yeah.
That you're going to have a list of other houses?
Mhm.
Because I can hear and feel feedback from other agents that are watching going, oh, how does that seller feel?
Mhm.
How do you break the news that you're also going to have other homes that your buyers, potential buyers, are going to see? They
I
handle it okay?
Yeah, because they know if they because their house is being marketed at all the other houses in the neighborhood.
There
So they're
you go.
getting
And
6
so-
times the
Mhm.
exposure.
Anytime somebody picks up a flyer at the other, 10 listings we have in the neighborhood, they're getting that added promotion there. And then also during open houses, going back to open houses, don't be the agent that just sits in the kitchen when somebody comes into your open house. Sometimes they'll get really busy and there'll be multiple people, but you are trying to connect with as many people as possible and walk them through the house.
Exactly.
I love it that we're going back to the open houses because it's basic to real estate. And forever and always, for example, and I will just go ahead and show it now. But I always talk about my book, 30 Days to Success, and it's the basics on how to get started in real estate. In there, on one of the days, I'm talking about preparing for an open house. And I love it that you say, if you think 10 signs are okay, take 20.
Exactly.
Mhm.
The preparation is invaluable. I also love it that you are saying, potential buyers, if this house isn't for you, we can also help you find another house elsewhere. And here are listings that are in that neighborhood.
Because you only get so much FaceTime, and then you want to go the extra mile to capture them. So send a follow-up email saying it was nice to meet you. Here's more information about me. Visit my website. Feel free to call me. God bless. And then Brian also takes the time to ask them, just naturally, tell me what you're looking for. And so they've signed in. They've put their name in their email. So we send them a follow-up email saying, thanks for coming. Feel free to contact us. And then we also go in HAR, in the matrix, and we put them on an auto search. So now they're automatically getting houses from Ryan that fit their home search criteria. And then you can look and see if they've been in there.
What a
And then
great
Ryan will
question.
also follow
What are you
up.
looking for?
Yeah.
What are you looking for?
Yeah.
And then just listen.
Yep.
You know?
Yep.
What we do too is immediately we got their email address.
Yeah.
By the time they hit their car, they already have a thank you note in their
Perfect.
email saying,
Yeah.
thank you for attending our open house.
Yeah.
We're looking for your 3-bedroom, 2
So
baths,
impressive.
whatever you're looking for.
Yep.
And just show that people want to be heard. People want to be listened to and know when to care.
Exactly. They want to know that they have your attention, that you're listening to them.
Mhm.
And literally people walk into the school and say, I want to become a real estate agent because the agent I worked with did not listen to me.
Exactly.
And truly paying attention and not having a preconceived idea, oh, you'd be great for this particular house, instead of, well, what do you really want? So we're talking about prospecting. Open houses, we know, are back in style again.
Mhm.
Not that they ever went out, but for some, they think that they had. What about cold calling, prospecting? At the event a couple of weeks ago was mainly attended by millennials. They used the word dialers. They were all dialers, which cracked me up because how long has it been since you've seen a dialing phone?
Yeah.
Right. But cold calling, warm calling, whatever you want to call it. How do you use the telephone in today's world?
Well, I don't do
marketing.
cold calling. I do more warm calling. Fridays, I call dialing for dollars. And what I'll do is I'll call my sphere of influence. Call the people that I know. Just say, hey, how are you doing? What's going on with your life? How are your kids? How's your business? Let me tell you about mine, because they're going to ask you. And just let them realize that you're a realtor. You know, they're going to forget. So just letting them know. So mine's more warm calling my sphere of influence, asking the question, who do you know that needs to buy or sell real estate? Not do you know anybody, because the answer is always going to be no. But who do you know? And it's amazing the feedback you're going to get from just that one question. You know, so that's, I like warm calling. I don't do cold calling.
Is it, and it's regularly scheduled on
It's regularly
Fridays.
scheduled. That's,
How many hours do you spend on it?
I like doing it from like 1 to 3 or so. And it may not be the whole block because other things may happen, but just blocking that time just to sit in front of the desk and just talk to people. Friday afternoons I found is the best because people are normally goofing off at work. They're waiting to get off. It's Friday.
Golfing.
Oh, let me take that call. Let me take that call from Jeff. You know, I have time to talk to you.
One more time, lightly tell the students and our customers, if you were calling out and this was a Friday morning, what would you say?
Well, it'll be Friday afternoon.
Friday afternoon.
Friday afternoon. I'll just see. Hi, this is Jeff. How are you doing? Whoever it is. I'm doing good. I haven't talked to you for a while. You know, if it's a past client, I would say, how's that house doing? You know, you negotiate a home warranty. How is everything going with that home? You have a home warranty if anything breaks. That's a past client. Someone that I haven't talked to in a while. How are the kids? How's your job? You know, let me tell you a little bit about mine in real estate. I had a really great open house this past weekend. Talk about something funny that happened.
And they just think you are the friendliest person ever. But he's keeping his name out there because of just what you said. Sellers ready to sell.
Yeah.
Want to use their prior agent, but prior agent just didn't stay in touch with them. How do you all use the telephone?
We have a prospect list from all of our open houses, HAR leads, people that call on listings. And I think that that's a big thing that people miss. I'm going to go off track a little bit, but people will call on a house that's pending or just sold. I just had someone yesterday, and I think a lot of agents would just say, nope, I just sold that one, thanks, and that's it. No, you want to, okay, you're going to hold that information that it just sold and say, hey, I have other listings that are just like it. That one, unfortunately, is pending or sold, but I can send you stuff just like that. Is that what you're looking for? So you're trying to capture those leads, even if the house is already sold or pending. That's somebody that's actively looking for real estate. So that's a prospect right there. But all of our open house leads, all of our, like I said, HAR leads, Royale, I will take the list of people from our open houses and stuff like that.
People that have called.
And I give them to her, and she puts them on an Excel spreadsheet. And we have on legal size paper, I don't know, 1,000 people on there just from doing these things. And I will just start calling
if we've
right down
connected
that
with
list.
them also at any moment of time, if we've connected with them. So if we have their email from coaching, if we know them from the neighborhood, if we know their address, if we met them at an open house, if we've connected with them on any level, they have received something of value from us.
And how often do they receive?
Okay, so the emails we do like every 6 to 8 weeks because you don't want to wear them out, and I'm really mindful of what I'm sending. I don't want to send something, me particularly, that says, are you thinking of buying or selling? On the bottom, of course, we have our nice picture that says, you know what I mean, call Ryan and Royale for all your real estate needs. But I wanted them to keep them something of substance, like spring festivals in Houston, festival schedule, Houston rodeo schedule, the Astro schedule, and the rodeo schedules and things like that. Those are things when you're starting that you don't have to spend money on. You can send those in an email. You can, you know what I mean, in an e-flyer, and you can send it to 1,000 people, because I know it's hard when you start. And then, so we'll send the emails, and then we'll also use that. We'll put it on Facebook and Instagram. And then for the people in the neighborhood or people we do have their addresses or Ryan coaches, we send that stuff in the mail. So it softens the call for Ryan to say, hey, how you doing, man? You know, Astros just started. Did you get the schedule? Did you get the schedule? We've been thinking about you guys.
It's his intro.
To
Yeah.
answer your question though, every day. If I have a minute and if I'm at the office in particular, I'm making phone calls because I have her, she's doing just about everything on the computer, you know.
Everything
So
behind the scenes.
I am making phone calls a lot. We
What
have a
is-
couch in our office.
I think it's like random
Because-
thoughts too. Like when you think of people, you're driving on
Yeah,
the way to work,
yeah.
and you're like, I wonder how that client did. I sold the house 2 years ago. How is she doing?
Yeah.
Just call.
Yeah.
Don't think. Just call.
You're
And he
driving-
has a list when he walks in. It's call these ones.
Yeah.
Call these people.
I love it. You're not fearful of going back to the telephone.
No, every day you have to. And like he said, I'll drive by a house that I've listed or sold and I'll think of those clients and call them. When you think about those people, call them. And it's a relationship business. It is. The house, you don't even have to be a good salesman. If you're a new agent or going to be an agent, I was a commercial diver. The houses sell themselves. You're not going to sell anybody a house that they don't want. They just need to know that they can trust you and that you are going to negotiate to get them the best deal possible, whether it's buying or selling.
You have their best interest.
And that
FaceTime
is
and
such a
report.
wonderful point to make because so many of the general public think that an agent is trying to force them to buy a certain house. No, that is so far
Yeah.
out of what our thought processes are because you're right. You can't force anybody to buy a house. You show them until they find the one that they fall in love with and choose. So we talked about starting out, and I was going to ask you a question on, well, how do you keep the momentum going now that you're experienced? You're probably going to tell me it's the same thing that you did, but I'm going to throw it out anyway. Is there anything different now that you're 2 to 4 years into the business that you do differently than when you started out?
I think a lot of it's the same, but I'm more organized now. I have everybody in a database that I use. Have people in drip campaigns. You tell me a name of somebody, I can find their phone number just like that through my
Is
database.
there a drip campaign that you recommend that you really like?
I use Market Leader.
Okay.
That's the program that I use. I know a lot of people use Boomtown and other programs like that, but I like Market Leader because I like the drip campaigns that they have. It's easy to find information. I'm like, what was that person's number? I just got a new phone. I don't have them in my phone anymore. What's that person's number? Boom, it's there.
Yeah.
So keeping organized, I think I'm better at now than I was when you first started. You're like, what do I do? What do I do?
Yeah.
This is my new business. How do I do it? So keep it organized and have everything in a system. Okay, just got a lead in. Boom, this is what you do.
Yeah.
Now you know exactly
everything's
the process.
Yes.
And what works in the process. What about the two of you? Anything different as an experienced agent? Now you're experienced. You've been in it 2 years now.
Yeah, we just fresh off a Rookie of the Year. We're still in that grind and hustle mode. We work a lot. I mean, I work 7 days a week. I'm wearing a suit 7 days a week. You never take that real estate hat off. It's a blessing, and the previous job where I was traveling and away from my wife and kids half the year. Now I have a job where I work with my wife. I was always afraid to get more involved with church or more involved with my kids' sports because I knew I was going to have to leave for business. And now, being a realtor, you want to be involved in your church and your kids' school and PTO and coaching and all that stuff. Now it's even better. It's you get to get that connection with your kids, with church, with all that, and it's great for your business because it's you're getting to know more people. You're throwing yourself
It all
out there.
works together.
Yeah.
Yes.
And naturally, as you get more listings and you have more success, you become more confident. And we do feel more comfortable with consumers saying, I work for you and I want you to love me when this transaction's over. I want to make it as smooth and as stress-free as possible. I will list your house for whatever price you like, but I strongly recommend,
Perfect.
because a lot of times consumers, they want to list their
They have
their
no
house.
idea.
Yeah,
Unrealistic.
it's unrealistic.
Mhm.
So Ryan has much more confidence saying, I recommend you do this, 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 and this before we put it on the market. And I recommend this price, although, you know what I mean, I'll do whatever you like. I'll list it for whatever you like. So we feel more comfortable in our, you know,
In your role.
in our expertise
Yeah.
as a
Mhm.
realtor, because with more transactions comes more knowledge.
Does that mean that you're more serious and sort of strong when you deliver that message
Yeah.
on what the real listing price should be?
Yeah, I think set realistic expectations, and you can be more confident the longer you've been in the business that
Yeah.
you're offering good information. And I still will take those listings when people have unrealistic expectations, and we'll let them see that the market will tell them that they're priced too high.
The
Time.
market never
Time.
lies.
That's right.
The market never lies.
Yeah.
I mean, you have your facts and figures right in front of you,
Yeah.
and you're confident, and you know that
Yeah.
you know everything about it. You can't argue
Right.
with
You
it. You know.
That's why a good CMA is absolutely
Yes.
mandatory.
Mhm.
And one more thing too is we have contractors for everything now, and that is important. I mean, we have general contractors, plumbers, electricians, a lot of people that we can refer to all of our clients, and that helps our business a lot too.
And they love it.
Yeah.
Saying, well, who would you recommend? Well, here's a list
I
of
got a
people
guy,
that can
yeah.
help you.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It works so well. We are, believe it or not, down to the nitty gritty
Okay.
of our hour together. So I have one final question for each of you, and that's what I was going to say. But that final question really is different for the Jockers here. Did you fall in love with each other in 5th grade?
I had my eye on him.
You had your eye
He
on
fell in
him.
love with me after I won the 5th grade race.
Okay.
And he was like, that Adidas outfit is pretty cute, you know? But I had to like get first place first.
Oh, how
And
fun.
then in the 6th grade, he kind of started liking girls, so he was my boyfriend, and I kissed him on the cheek.
Okay.
Yeah. She's my first girlfriend in the 6th grade.
And how many years have you been married?
You're better
8.
at this than me. 8.
8
Yeah.
years.
But it feels like 20. And
Yeah,
the good
yeah.
thing,
Probably feels
Yeah,
It's
like
been together a
the
lot.
good thing about marrying your best friend is you know who he is. Like I've known who he is
No surprise.
since we've been little. I've known his family.
oh,
I don't have to
Yeah.
question.
Yeah.
I know who he
you know
is.
who he is. That's awesome.
Yeah. He's a good guy.
So
I
if
love
you
him.
had any advice as an adult now, looking back on the younger person that you are, I want to ask each of you, what advice would you give to the younger Jeff? Now that you are a little older and you have had experience in your lifetime, is there any advice you might give to yourself?
Like what I said at the beginning, embrace that stomach feeling that you get when you get nervous and out of your comfort zone. Embrace that and say yes. Don't say no. Because more times you say yes, the more successful you're going to be and more opportunities you're going to have. If you say no, you're going to close yourself off to the world and business, in anything.
Mhm.
So say yes more and embrace that funny feeling that you get.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
What about each of you?
I've learned that, you know, I'm a busybody and I want to go, go, go. And I've learned that God's transformed my life in times where it's still. So we're always busy, but if we had a still couple of days to embrace that still, you know. And for me and Ryan, you know, it was kind of a slow 3 weeks. And then he decided, you know what, I'm going to go to real estate school because it was the off season for oil and gas. It was the winter, you know. And so as I've got older and become more wiser, I have learned to embrace those times of silence where don't be still work hard, but don't think just because nothing's happening today that you're not in the right place. You know,
Oh, that's great.
God works in
advice.
mysterious ways, like keep going, keep pushing. And the times where my life has jumped and I've had the most success are right on the husk of times where it was quiet before. So I've learned to respect that time and embrace it and take it as, you know, a day of rest or whatever it may be, but just to keep going and just to don't doubt the silence. You know, it's all for good
That's
reason.
true. Whenever it gets a little bit slow,
Yeah.
go on vacation.
Yes.
And you'll get a listing.
Yes.
You'll get
Exactly.
so-
Or
yes.
your listing will sell.
Yeah,
Exactly.
don't doubt
Yeah,
the
you have a
silence.
still listing, go on vacation.
Yeah.
Anything
Yeah.
that you
But
would
don't
add
post
to
it on
the
Facebook. Don't post
No.
it.
I I would just say to myself that, yeah, I always want to be in control, and that's silly. Nothing ever goes according to plan. God's in control. So put God first, and anything is possible.
Very good. Wonderful, wonderful words of wisdom, wonderful basic skills. You are hearing it from 3 people that are doing it every day, tops in their company, which is just magnificent. 2 to 4 years into the business. Congratulations to each of you. Thank you for being champions.
Yes,
We're
thank
so
you,
proud,
Rita.
so
Thank you.
proud.
Thank you.
And then I want to say, as a champion, you all remember the month of March, we had Make-A-Wish campaign all over the state. We also had it with our website. And yesterday at the Make-A-Wish luncheon that we attended for the Wish Foundation, we were striving for $8,900 because that would make a child's wish come true. And at the end of the morning yesterday, before we went to the luncheon, we had exactly $13,414.67.
Yay!
So we actually sponsored a child and a half during our month of March Make-A-Wish campaign. Thank you for your business at all of our campuses around the state and online and live broadcast. Thanks again for being here
Thank
today.
you, Rita, and thank
Thank
you
you.
to Champion
So
School of Real
welcome.
Estate.
So
You guys started
welcome.
it all for us. And
Thank
you made
you.
it. You made it.
Believe me,
Good
we
resource.
feel so proud of every one of you. And when we do get to promote with our flyers and our students look at it, they look at these pictures and they think, I want to be here one day. And that's what I love about this, because it certainly is available. Anyone can do it if you listen to the wonderful advice of these champions. Thanks again. Have a great day.
Thank you.